So what was the very first thing you did when you went into work today?
I did check my emails. That was the first thing. And then I actually only had about 15 minutes before I had my first meeting of the day. It was about 2 hours long, so a little bit time consuming. So I really only got to check my emails when I got in there.
So what was your 2-hour meeting all about?
So this was a very unique meeting. The reason being is that since we got this new marketing director, he's looking at how we do everything, and he's trying to see where we should restructure. So the catalogs themselves, because we have 26 of them that we do in a year, we don't do it very efficiently. So what we did is basically the lead graphic designer looked at all of the issues that we have, and she had a big list of them, and we went through them, and that's what took so long. It's because we had about 12 really big issues, and then from that we'll trickle out like little things and ideas about how to make it better. So that's why it took 2 hours. That isn't something that typically happens often in marketing departments. I would say it's usually once a year when you're evaluating your performance over the last year.
So how did the overall flow of the meeting go though?
She'd bring up an issue, we would write it on the board, and then we would discuss what other issues other people had found with it. And then from there, the marketing director would kind of start to ask questions about it, and he'd start to develop a little bit of a loose plan. And then at the end of that question, he would say, well, would doing these things help those issues be resolved? And then we discuss and evaluate, and then we move on to the next one.
Could you give us a specific example maybe of one of the problems that you guys looked at and maybe came up with a possible solution?
In every catalog, in the middle, we call it the gut. It would be about 15 to 20 pages where all of the products are generally the same. It doesn't matter what sport it is. They all usually end up being the same. So an issue that we have is that in every catalog, we end up making new designs to put on those products just to show that you can print a design on it, which is very inefficient when you think about the fact that you're doing it over and over and over again for over 20 catalogs. So the issue is that we keep doing it over again. The solution would be that we could, since all those products are generally the same, we could just do the same designs on those products so that we can just copy and paste it between catalogs, so we're not spending as much time editing designs.
So what did you do after your 2-hour meeting was over?
Okay, so that partnership that we have, the big one, we have the t-shirt designs that are getting evaluated right now. So I then had to start putting together a presentation. This did take up a lot of my time today. So the presentation will have all of the designs that we have. We have about 30 because we have, I'd say, 6 different types of events going on this season. So that would make about 5 shirts per event. So we got 30 designs on that presentation, and then we will give that to someone in the partnership organization, and he'll evaluate it and give his edits on that document.
What do you use to make these documents for the clients?
It's a PowerPoint. So each page I'll have 2 garments, because then you'll have a text box next to it where the man can write his edits physically so that we all have it. I wanted one of the small offices again just so I could work pretty diligently on it, and I just finished up until the end of the day. So today was definitely big chunks of things.
What was the very first thing you did when you went into work today?
I did check my emails, and then I checked my Asana. I had 2 things that I had to decide what I was going to do first. The task that I decided would be most important would be communicating with the graphic designer about the designs. So the presentation that I was putting together, I had some edits back from the woman in charge of marketing with the partner organization. So I had to relay those edits back to her, and then sent me back her changes, and I put it in the presentation. Then I kept making my edits, and we went downstairs. They work on the second floor, and we met with the man from the organization and his marketing person, and then we went into an office. I made sure everyone had the PowerPoint, so that was my job to get it to everybody beforehand and in their email. So we all had our laptops, and you sit at this table and kind of chat for a little bit, just warm up to everybody. We had some snacks and water because they were guests, so you want to just treat them well when they come in. And Then we just kind of got started. It was very quick and easy, but there were about 30 slides. So, we just started from the beginning. I explained that everyone can make edits in their own PowerPoint because there would be like the graphics on the left side of the slide, and then on the right there was a text box for them to write their edit. So everyone took their own notes, and we just went through slide by slide. The graphic designer would explain her reasoning, and the people from the organization would let us know like why or why not it didn't work. That's what we did for every single slide.
What happened after the meeting was over?
So they sent me back their versions of the PowerPoint, and really it was only 3 of us that were making edits. So we only had 3 sets of notes, as mine and the other 2. So I go through and I kind of compile them, and I then will have to write the edits down for to edit.
Did you do anything else after that?
Yeah. Me and the marketing director talked on the phone with a company about a machine that takes photos for you. It's just much quicker than a photographer. We wanted to explore if we needed to hire another full-time person or if we could do it some other way. And this is where marketing directors are meant to really help you be innovative as a company. And so this is an option. And the machine itself, it's a very expensive machine, and basically they have a very high-quality camera that's on kind of a track. It can move up and down. It can shoot video, photographs. You just put the model in, it does its thing, and then it can take the background out and make it white, or it can edit the colors for you, just things like that. So it's much quicker than a person doing it. So we're exploring that right now, yeah.
So what did you guys discuss when you were talking about this machine? Did you end up going with it or no, or you still have to decide?
So there are 2 things, really. One is budget, because everything in a marketing department is kind of about budget. And then 2 is, can it do what we need it to do? Because if it can't do everything, there's no point in doing it. We would need flat shots of the garments, which means it's literally laying on the ground and it's a photo taken from above. We would need shots of the garments on busts, which if you see in an athletic store like a plastic running man, that's a bust. And we would need it to shoot video and models in general. So we found that it could do 3 of the 4, but we really need it to do all 4. So we're probably going to keep exploring other options. That was pretty much the end of the day. So I just checked my emails again. I helped one of the marketing specialists make some edits on an email for verbiage. He just needed to change out a few words so that it was more on track with what we were trying to say. And then that was the end of my day.
So what was the first thing you did when you went into work today?
So I actually worked from home today. That's something that we have the ability to do because our company is pretty lenient. They understand that people are busy. So I had my laptop at home. I logged into the server, which we can do remotely. So I can log into our Wi-Fi and our server from home. So that's the first thing I had to do was get myself set up. It takes just a few minutes to do that. And then I went into my regular checking my email. I had a few Skype messages because I am working from home. So people just had some questions for me.
So how often do you actually do the work from home thing?
I'm probably once every 3 weeks, just when I feel like I need to, because I did a dental appointment today.
So what did you actually work on at home?
So today they were printing the partnership t-shirts that we've been working on the designs for and everything. So I was on the phone for a little while with the merchandiser who's in charge of getting those to print. So basically I had to send him all of the files, which took quite a while. We do that through Dropbox because sending it through email it takes a really long time, and sometimes files are too large to send via email. So I was sending them on Dropbox to him as we were on the phone. He was going through the list of all the shirts because we have 20 shirts or 20 different designs, and he was just saying, is this approved? Who approved it? I had to give him all the information of what had happened and giving him dates for the event. So we have a Google Calendar of when all the events are happening, and I was just giving him the ones that were most pressing. That took quite a while.
Once you were done with it, though, did you do anything else after that?
So for these events with the partnership, we have different versions of marketing materials that go there. So I had to design banners, quite literally just a hanging banner, so that we had extra pieces of marketing at all these events. So it was just simply our brand, and then is the official apparel provider for, and then the logo of the partnership. So they were simple, but they had to get put together on a lot of different sizes of things. And I used the Adobe program Illustrator to do that.